Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori if you're new here, and today I wanted to share my journaling bag that I took on a recent trip, how I had it set up, and then I also wanted to share a flip through of the little travel journal that I brought with me. So we will jump right into this so I can just show you the things. I did get a couple of comments on my last video from a couple of people wanting to see flip throughs of my travel journal once it was finished. And I am probably about 95% finished with it, so I am going to flip through that in this video as well. So for my actual bag that I brought, this is the Hinoki bag from Notebook Therapy. It was recently restocked on their website and I love it. I think it's so cute, and I didn't have a tiny journaling bag. Most of the journaling bags that I have are quite large, so I purchased it and this is what I took with me on my trip. I have my Travelers Company clip that I just clipped into this front pocket right here. I don't think that I put anything else in that pocket. No, just the clip. And then in the pocket behind that, I had some scissors and tweezers, just in case. And then I've got various pens that I brought with me as well. And to be completely honest with you, I didn't use a single one of these pens. I brought them because I knew that these were some of my favorites, and I would be upset that if I needed them or decided that I wanted to use them while I was gone and I didn't have them, like, I would be upset by that. But I didn't use a single one of those pens while I was gone. I used this one twice to draw single lines, but that was it. I had just clipped a little hair clip on here. And then in these two pockets, and this one, I didn't use these either, but I thought I could use them for any cafe journaling that I did. It's just books and coffees, and these are little PET stickers. And then in the last front pocket here, I have one of these little like washi tape smoother things. I don't actually know what this is called, but I stuck that in there for my trip. And then I have a bunch of coffee themed rub-ons that I brought with me as well. There is a back pocket for this, and in the back pocket I have, let's see, a pencil board. This is a Travelers Company pencil board. And these were pieces that I actually purchased while I was in or on my trip. So this was a coffee shop that we went to, and this was a French Quarter sticker that I just really, really loved. And I didn't actually end up using it in my journal because it was a little bit too big. So I'm just keeping that. And then I guess I think I had this in my traveler's notebook because that's where I got one of the journals from. So I had grabbed a sticker from them while I was there. This is not in relation to my trip at all. I think it was just in my notebook. So let's jump inside my bag. I've got a few things in here. This is the fountain pen that I brought with me. This is I think it's called Asvine, and it's the fountain pen that I got from Amazon. It was about $17, and it was just black ink that I got and brought with me. I figured if something happened while I was on my trip and I damaged it, I would be least upset about damaging this one. And this is the pen that I used primarily in my journaling. I also had another like pencil board, but the Travelers Company one is a little bit thicker, and that's the one that I ended up using most. And I will pull this out for when we do the flip through too. And then I have two passport size traveler's notebooks. And then the last two things that I had in here were just one roll of washi tape that I really love, and then a teeny tiny eraser from Tombow. And that's everything that I fit in this tiny little bag, which I think I did pretty good, honestly, because there is quite a lot of stuff here. So I have two notebooks here. The notebook with the charms on it is the one that I did a setup video for, and this was the one that I was documenting my actual trip in. It is a little bit chunkier now than it was when I set it up. So I guess it worked as it should have. And this one was a secondary passport traveler's notebook that I purchased because I wanted to start a coffee journal, but I didn't want it to be in this same notebook because this is just the stuff that I had for the trip and it was already a little too chunky for my liking. So I started a second passport notebook. And then once I kind of figure out how I'm going to store my trip journal, I'll probably set this aside for my next like trip or vacation and then work out of this one. So let's start with this one, my not trip one, so we can end on my trip one. This I brought along with me for any type of coffee shops that we went to. I don't have a setup video for this or anything like that, but I just used the insert that came in the actual TN cover. And I need to stamp out essentially. Let me zoom in a little bit. I need to stamp out like a cover page on here, but I haven't done that yet because I actually did start working on this while I was in New Orleans. And I am just doing very creative and messy review pages of random coffee shops that I visit. So this was one that I actually visited here in my town, and I just wanted to fill it out so that I could focus on the coffee shops that we went to while we were out of state. This was a like display piece. Like this was a huge piece set up in this coffee shop. So I took a picture of it and then I like messily doodled it into this page. This is not completed. I was more focused on getting my travelers completed, my actual travel journal completed. So there is a lot of incomplete spreads in here that I will just complete whenever I get a chance. So we did go to Cafe Beignet, and then I wrote a little piece here about how I actually got this sticker. I actually peeled it off of some praline packaging and cut it out, and I just thought that was funny because they didn't actually have stickers available. This was Le Petit Bleu, and we went to that one. I didn't write anything on here yet, but this was a picture that I took inside the coffee shop. And then I, again, very sketchily drew it out in my journal. I really like the idea of doing that because it feels, I don't know, it just feels so fun. I would love to know what you think about that in the comments. We went to Perk Coffee and Community. This one is actually finished. And then I used a bunch of stuff from Album Love Handmade because I did buy a lot of that coffee collection and finished that one up. And then the last coffee shop that we went to was PJ's Coffee. And I did take some pictures to potentially sketch out some things in this coffee or from this coffee shop as well. But I haven't finished that yet because, like I said, my actual travel journal, finishing that was more important to me than doing the coffee stuff. And I didn't take this journal with me to the coffee shops because I was the only person on the trip that actually did any of that kind of stuff. So I didn't want to like have other people just be sitting around waiting for me. This next journal that's in here, just briefly, is my complain journal. This is very new journal, so that I'm not just complaining all over the internet all the time because I feel like I do complain a lot. So I figured I would just make a little journal and just put all my complaints in there. And then I have just a blank graph notebook, and I did swatch, while I was on my trip, I swatched out a couple of inks in here that we'll talk about probably a little bit later. And then I had this little folder back here that I just had a couple of coffee stickers in. So that's my cafe notebook. I love this. And I'm super excited to continue using it and having this as part of my like everyday journaling rotation. But let's get to the kind of meat and potatoes of the video, I guess. So this was the journal that I set up in my setup video. I have a couple of stickers left over. I did use this journal specifically. All of these pockets in here, I had things in that I was saving, ephemera and stuff to put in my little journal once I was finished setting everything up. So these 2 stickers are leftover stickers, and I purchased them while we were in New Orleans. I don't even know where this came with the travel notebook, but I don't know where that black thing came from. I think it was from some store that I went to. This little pouch, this canvas pouch here, is currently empty. I was holding some of the tickets and things that I pasted down in here. And then I did add a ton of stickers to my little sticker book. I've actually added more to this since I've been back home because I did use quite a lot on my trip. I have a few things in this back pouch here. So a little dog tag, scanny card thing, and then also a beauty pop. So this was a business card that I didn't end up using in my journal, but I didn't want to toss them just yet. So they were just tucked back here. This little folder envelope has all of the receipts for my entire trip. I saved every single receipt and they are all in here. I am not going to open that because who wants to look at receipts? But I did save them all. And then this was in one of the stores that we went to, and I thought it was really cute. And I think I forgot about it when I was setting up the journal. So that's why that didn't get used. And then we will kind of flip back through here. So in my setup video, you saw me add these stickers to the front of this journal or this insert. I did find a sticker that says French Quarter that I thought fit perfectly on here, so I added that. I don't like the way that these stickers look because they don't match anything else in the journal at all, period. So, but they're just staying there, I guess. I'm not going to try and pull those off the cover. But I did find a sticker that says Girls Trip New Orleans. And then this was one that I had in my sticker book in the back. I added the dates of my trip there. This was another sticker that I found in one of the shops. This was my to-do list, or kind of a wish list of things that I personally wanted to do while we were there. And I did complete every single one of these. So I need to go through my stamps and see if I can find like a checkbox that says complete or something like that to stamp right down there. So for my journaling, I will say, and I've not seen many people do this. So it could be weird, or it could be that I just haven't seen anybody that's actually journaling like this. But I split my journal into 2. So essentially, I have all my words at the front, and then I have all of my fun pages at the back. So I did timeline journaling. What I did was in my notes app, I did a New Orleans trip daily logs, and then I minimized them and just did the most extra. I don't even know if you can see that. It might be too bright. But I did like timestamps and then like what we were doing at that time for every day that we were there, including the days that we were traveling. If I spent any money, I highlighted it in red. And then the times I highlighted in blue. And I just thought that this was a really good way for me to kind of keep track of things that I might want to note or actually journal about. So then when I went in here and I actually did my journaling, I added, because I had them, I added those times in. This first day looks a little bit messier than the rest of the days because this was me figuring out specifically how I wanted to journal. But you can see like I've got 9 a.m., 11:30 a.m., and then like what was happening at that time. And I elaborated in here a little bit more than I did in my notes app, just because I wanted in that to kind of just have reminders. So I did that for the entirety of the trip, and I was like essentially just sitting down in my bed at the Airbnb, just kind of journaling at the end of each day. And then I think I have everything finished but the last day. Yes, I just have to finish our checking out of the Airbnb and traveling back home. That's the last thing that needs to be added into here. And then we kind of flip into all of the ephemera pages. This was a postcard that I picked up at the World War II Museum, and then I ended the book with another postcard that we'll see at the end there. It just fit in here perfectly, and I loved that, so I just cut it down and added it into the book. On our first day there, we did visit the National World War II Museum. I got like a weird little clip thing that they had me pinned to my clothes. And so I broke off the bumpy part of it so it wouldn't be too bulky in my journal, and taped that down. I cut this off of a bag that I got from the store there. And then I also got a sticker, and then we have the teeniest, tiniest little group photo. You probably won't even be able to clearly see anybody on there because I can barely clearly see anybody on there. But I have all these on my phone, and if I need to, I can always reference them there or print them out for other projects or things like that. I just wanted little tiny references of photos. We went then the next day to Cafe Beignet, and I had my very first ever beignet, and that is a photo of me eating it. And I love this page. This was a like to-go baggie that they had, and I cut it down to fit inside here as well. So another piece of like ephemera. On the next day, we did a lot of just walking around the French Quarter. So we did take pictures in front of like this nice little scene space. We went to a bunch of random little stores, and there was a Zoltar Speaks in one. So I spent $1 and I got a little Zoltar Speaks thing. And then I have it flippable with some washi tape. And then I also went to my stationery store this day, and I went to Papier Plume, and I bought myself a fountain pen and some inks. And just briefly, I purchased this case. Let me zoom back out a little bit. I purchased this case at that store. And the guy told me that it was like made from like crushed tea leaves. It's like a faux leather case made from crushed tea leaves, and I was just so intrigued by that. And then I also purchased this pen. So I got a Lamy Safari. I think that's how you pronounce that. I could be wrong. And then I also grabbed 2 fountain pen inks, and these are inks that the store actually creates themselves. And I got the forest green color and the pecan color, and I'm obsessed with both of these. I love them so much. So those are the couple of little things that I got at the stationery store while we were up there. And I'm, again, so pleased with all that. I took the little sticker off my fountain pen and stuck that in here. Then we went to Frenchmen Street in the evening, and there was like a little art bazaar situation happening after 6 p.m. And I got this little sticker that's like a plant with like symbols hanging off of it, and I thought it was so funny and just so well done, so I got that. This next page is just a page about food, and I wrote a little bit about having my first ever like street hot dog, like from a hot dog cart. I had a huge craving for French fries, and we stopped into like a random store that had literally nobody in it, and I ordered some fries, and these are probably the best fries I've ever had in my life. They were so unbelievably good. And then we went to Empanola, and I got a buffalo chicken empanada, and I saved down here the actual menu. Oh goodness. And I cut the little logo off of that, and then what was actually included in the buffalo chicken empanada. That again also was 5 stars. So good. And this was a picture of me that my friend took while we were eating at Pat O'Brien's. This next day, I guess I could zoom back in. Sorry, y'all. This next page is just random pictures of us wandering around. So I've got a couple where I stand photos. These were actually taken on 2 separate days. There's one with me and my friend, and then one with the whole group. And then a photo of the street signs for being on Royal Street. And apparently this is the fountain that's actually in the show The Originals frequently. And we were able to see it passing by and walking down the street. So I took a picture of that through the gate, because it's at a hotel, so you can't actually get in and see it. But I thought that was super fun, and I really liked the way that that photo came out. We went to the Potions Lounge. So you had to go, this was fun. You had to go to Boutique du Vampire, and then ask them specifically for a ticket to get into the Potions Lounge. I asked the guy when we were at checkout at the boutique, I was like, do we get to keep these? Can I keep this, or do we have to turn it in? And he said that they do have to be like handed over to the vampire that you're going to go meet to get into the special place to go up to the lounge. But he gave me one anyways, because I was, I guess, that visibly sad about it. So he gave me one, and I just love it. It's such a cool little card. So I was really happy about that. And then there is a photo of the little like shots that we took, and the souvenir bottles, and then a photo of me and my friend. And then I also have randomly throughout all of these pictures just a little bit of extra journaling. We also went to the Apothecary, which was a very expensive like restaurant, and I will be adding some additional journaling right here for this one, but I haven't gotten to that yet. But I got like a really, really good salad and some crab toast. And then I had like a gin, some sort of gin drink, which I never would have chose on my own, but I told the waiter to surprise me, which I also never do. So I did a lot of firsts on this trip for sure. But this was a really good experience as well. And then the last thing that we did was take a haunted history tour. This was the sticker that they gave us that I had to put on like my pants throughout the tour. This was a really cool tree that we went to at one of the parks that we toured. And then this was a photo of one of the cemeteries that we visited. And then I'm going to also, again, right here, just add a little bit of extra journaling. You can't really see it in this print, but you can actually see like the stars in this photo. Again, you probably can't see it in this print because I can barely see it in the photo, but on my phone, like I can visibly see so many stars in this picture, and it just looks so cool. The last page that I have here is just extra ephemera that I wanted to tape down, that I had from various things. So I've got a couple of business cards here, another sticker from the Perk Coffee and Community coffee shop. This was the address that was on the bottom of the Cafe Beignet baggie. And then another like logo that I had ripped off of the Empanola menu that I just, again, thought was so cute because that little empanada is adorable. But that's going to be, well, after I flip over and have my final postcard. This was the second postcard that I got. But that's it. That's my whole journal. Again, I have a couple of places that I need to just add a little bit more journaling for. But I love it. I think it came out so good. And you can see where I started actually doing like my ephemera journaling for sure. But that is all I have to go over for today. I would love to know your thoughts on everything down in the comments below. And if you would have done anything differently, let me know. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.